For more, I spoke a short time ago to Jason Marczak, director of the Atlantic Council's Latin America program. Jason Marczak, this is a very dramatic day in Venezuela. The mass protests, and now President Trump is recognizing the opposition leader as the interim president. Just how volatile and how precarious is the position of President Maduro right now?
Maduro is facing today a reaction against his regime like he has never seen before. There were monumental protests 2 years ago. Today's protests are nationwide, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, and not just protesting against Maduro or against the humanitarian crisis, but protesting for return to democracy. And we're at this historic moment today because with Juan Guaidó assuming the interim presidency of Venezuela today, 2 weeks after Maduro assuming his next term, and frankly, 2 weeks after Guaidó himself assumed the presidency of the National Assembly, this marked a sea change in Venezuela, as well as the importance of the international community is critical at this moment, the U.S. recognition, Latin American countries and others.
Well, and President Trump has taken a very activist role here on Venezuela, and for once here in Washington, there's bipartisan support, it seems like.
In a hyper-polarized Washington, where it's hard to agree whether the sun's rising or setting, one thing in which there's agreement is on concerted action with regard to Venezuela. And there is bipartisan support in the Congress for the actions that have been taken thus far. The President Trump's statement today is critical. Vice President Pence, his video message yesterday, others in the administration, that outpouring of international support is critical. And what's critical is it's not just the United States, because that can be detrimental, but it's the community of countries across the Americas that are coming together from north, from Canada to Brazil and everywhere in between, supporting the interim presidency of Juan Guaidó.
The Trump administration is warning, though, that all options are on the table if President Maduro tries to put down these protests with force. What could the U.S. do?
Well, there's a number of different options that are on the table for the U.S. What's critical as well is that actions the U.S. take be coordinated with the international community, especially what's obviously very much on the table are additional sanctions. The oil sanctions have always been out there as a potential action that could be taken, but one that has yet to be implemented because of the severe effects that that would take. But putting forward coordinated sanctions, freezing of additional assets to really ratchet up the pressure, not only on Maduro, but on those in the military who support him. And what's going to be really important is creating those fissures in the Venezuelan military so that the military do not obey the orders of Maduro in trying to put down and repress the protests or trying to arrest democratically elected leaders of Venezuela.
Jason Marczak, thank you so much for that analysis.
Thank you very much.